got the link now? Somebody has to accept it. I think nobody's accepting the. Shall we start? Kausalbhai, shall we start?
I think we should start. Yes, definitely
Okay.
start, please.
Okay, fine. So let me share the screen now. So today, Assalamu alaikum brothers, and welcome to the show, the webinar. The title of the webinar, The Hacking Secrets of Ramadan. Basically, what are we hacking? Trying to hack the health secrets of Ramadan. This through this webinar, trying to understand how the fasting will affect on the metabolic health, immune health, and the mental health. So all these are very important healths for us to live in harmony with our health, with our body, mind, and soul. All the three things has to be included. So that we'll learn, and we'll understand a little bit of spiritual growth at the same time. How we're going to achieve spiritual growth when we club these three together. So we'll start with sharing the screen. Let me share the screen now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And here you go. Hope I'm able to share the screen now. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is clear, right? Fabulous. So, okay, so let's go to our first slide. Fast for almost 40 days, reflecting the sacrifices of Prophet Jesus. Then we have another day of atonement for Jewish community. And during that day, they fast. And they fast to purify spiritually and for the repentances. And even in Hindu tradition, we have something called Ekadashi. And we have something called Navratri. So these are the fast which even Hindu people do it to cleanse the body, mind for spiritual growth. So this, if you see, the culture of fasting has been there since millennia. And it basically signifies what? It signifies the purification of the body and soul. And of course, the mind at the same time. So what is happening? We're uniting the ancient wisdom and we're trying to see how we can improve self-discipline and communal harmony. This is very important. Self-discipline and communal harmony. This is what we have been doing through our platform at the same time. So first, understand the prophetic warnings about end times. What Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, what he foretold. Because there were for Muslims, there were almost 125,000 prophets have visited this earth. And first prophet is Prophet Adam. The last prophet is Prophet Muhammad. Okay, peace be upon all of them. Prophet Muhammad, he was the last prophet, and the way he lived his life, the way he has given prophetic warnings for end times, perfectly, actually, it mirrors our contemporary reality, today's reality. What are we going through? We are going through what? At one side, there too much of food is there, unprecedented food is there, access, but at the same time, it coexists with rising diabetes, obesity, fatty liver, cardiovascular conditions, and these are all linked to your metabolic syndrome, your metabolic health. And when your metabolic health is destroyed, you fall into the category of metabolic syndrome. That means any of the things can happen. Like if you see people who usually develop diabetes, and diabetes, they usually come with not only diabetes, they usually have hypertension also or cholesterol also. Why? Because everything is linked to one root cause, that is metabolic syndrome. We're going to learn that because once we understand what is metabolic syndrome, we'll understand that diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol are easily reversible. All we need to do is understand the metabolic health, the fingers, the hand of metabolic health, which we're going to discuss in a bit. So before that, let's understand what is the statistics. If you see in a span of just one generation goes for almost 20, 30 years, 25, 30 years. So in that 30, 40 years, you have seen almost quadruple that the incidences of diabetes has actually has increased quadruple since just 1980. And today, out of 10 people, 7 deaths are because of this problem only, which can be preventable, which can be reversible, which we are doing it day in and day out. So back to the discussion, what our beloved prophet has done is he has lived his life. He lived his life in as an example, like a lived example. And he demonstrated particularly how to eat, how to fast, how and when to sleep, and what lifestyle positive habits you should inculcate in your life to achieve optimal metabolic health and a peaceful life. So let's first understand what is metabolic syndrome. If you want to understand diabetes, if you want to understand uh, the root causes of metabolic issues, we need to understand and remember this as the five finger disease. Always, when you hear anybody diabetes, hypertension, just remember five fingers here. Okay, and this each finger should remind you of something. One finger, for example, thumb finger, you can take as an obesity, right? The second one, the index finger, you can take it as type 2 diabetes. The middle finger, you can take it as hypertension. And then obesity, right? We have other things like cholesterol. The bad cholesterol is is increased, and good cholesterol, that is HDL, is decreased. So we need to understand this all are part of only one issue. What is the one issue here? The one issue, the root causes in metabolic. This all falls in the metabolic syndrome. The root causes insulin resistance. Why people have developed insulin resistance and has created the tree, the fingers of five diseases, five elements, five components of a metabolic syndrome, right? So that's all linked to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is because of what? Because of too much of carbs and sugars in our food. That's the reason. Okay, before we understand, we'll go a little more detail on our existence, how we were actually created. We all believers understand, and the science also now says perfectly that whatever the human elemental blueprint is there, it perfectly mirrors the earth crust. So our existence is deeply tied to the earth. If you see the calcium which is there in our bone, which gives us strength, right? That is found even in the soil. You see iron, right, which is there in earth crust, that's there found in our blood. Phosphorus, again, is part of the earth, is found in our cells. So this basically, our whole body is reorganized, literally reorganized. We all started from carbon. It's all started from. So if you see, every cosmic life originates scientifically and spiritually to a unified source. And what source is that? That's carbon. So carbon is present in every element and every component of the earth. So it all started from the carbon. So with the Big Bang, now science talk about Big Bang. What is Big Bang? So what happened? Big Bang is like one big bang almost billions of years back happened, and because of that Big Bang, the whole thing was set asunder and whole thing was created. The whole universe was created. The whole cosmic reality came into existence when the Big Bang happened. And that typically goes well with all the things which are intricately bonded together in the universe and the earth. That is what? The carbon. Okay. So now, to understand this, as we know now, we all created from the Big Bang. We all started from one small one command of the Lord. Okay. So and because of that, the whole universe was created. Earth was created. The Earth was a big round. It was a fireball when it was created. So that's a different story anyway. So Earth was created, sun was created, everything was created, and we, even humans, were created from the same universe. So for that, there's a connection. There's a connection, not only the elemental connection, but even the hormonal connection. If you see, as I said, phosphorus, calcium, like in all those elements which are there in our body and on the earth. Similarly, our whole circadian rhythm, we have something called circadian rhythm in our body. Like in the morning, this hormones like called cortisol gets released in the morning, like at about 6 7 o'clock, which tells the body you are ready for the go and come on, start the day. Okay, so that hormone, cortisol hormone. Then in the evening, just before the sleeping time, there's another hormone called melatonin gets released. And there's so many other hormones which are time which releases, like in link to the food intake and link to the fasting state, like of our body, because we're not always eating, isn't it? We eat, then we fast. We eat and we fast, isn't it? In between the fasting state and the fat state. Okay, so what is happening? All these hormones, everything are connectly and are intricately linked with us, in sync with the universe. So how we are sync? Because as I said, morning, one hormone is getting released morning, so our body knows it's morning, get ready for the day, all charged up, all boosted up, lot of energy, cortisol got released. Understand? Then in the night, melatonin got released. When you go into deep sleep, another hormone got get released. That's growth hormone. Either in the deep sleep that hormone get released, or only during the fasting it get released. Okay, so 2 times, and this growth hormone is what will tell you how refreshed, how renewed your body will become after the fastings 30 days. Okay, so this is what happens if you put the circadian rhythm perfectly in sync with your habits, with your food intake, right? Then the chances of there's not much of obesity there, not much of diabetes risk, no problem of the metabolic health, because this circadian rhythm is got disrupted. Like for example, late nights, you're out late now, you're not sleeping till very late. It's disrupted because melatonin is released, but you're not utilize it, and and growth hormone couldn't release in the body because you didn't sleep on time. So time is important. The time is more important than quality, right? So time is what? Because time has to go with the releases of the hormones, isn't it? The time of what? Time of the universe, right? Has to sync with the hormones which are getting released on the cyclical pattern in our body. So that needs to be understood, to understand that we are really made from this nature. We are part of this universe. So that goes very well, like, putting everything back into place, which promotes healing, clarity, and transformation when approached mindfully, all the fasting things. Okay, now the second one is what happens when you're fasting. As I said, it's all the body is nothing but life is nothing but the, I must say, orchestra of hormones. It is the orchestra of hormones. As you say now, hormones getting released morning, then hormones are like glucagon, insulin linked to the food intake and all that. So it's all the hormones are getting released at different time, different activities what we are doing, right? So life is nothing but the orchestra of hormones. It defines how well you play. So your life